Once upon a time, the role of a teacher in the classroom conjured up images and ideas of blackboards, rulers, chalk, and pencils. But now, technology is becoming more and more integrated into modern school systems, not just as an added bonus, but as a necessity to how students learn and how teachers teach. While at some point in time, adopting technology into the classroom may have been perceived as stressful and forced for teachers and students alike, as it stands now, students aren't just excited about using technology. Teachers are excited and highly capable of utilizing its presence in the classroom. From smartboards to class computers to e-readers and e-textbooks, each new technology presents new modes of both teaching and learning opportunities. Now, everyday teachers with tech access are finding new ways to embrace technology and incorporate it into the classroom. As a result, teachers are more efficient than ever, and students are capable of learning faster and more efficiently. In fact, a majority of students say that technology has helped them to achieve their academic goals, while a majority of teachers say they would like to use even more technology in the classroom.
Okay, so at the beginning of the year we had our 5 classroom computers that we use. I created a GG schedule or computer schedule, so whenever I'm with my small groups, whenever we're not doing whole group stuff, I have my kids on the computers. And then toward the middle of the year I did a grant with Donors Choose and we got a mini iPad and 1 tablet, which incredibly increased the amount of kids I was able to get on the computer at one time. So my kids are all doing separate work right now, and then I have my groups that I'm with, and so at that time my kids are all on computers doing either ST Math. I have a few students doing Study Island. I have some students taking AR tests, and that's how we have integrated technology.
ST Math is an instructional software that helps our students, kindergarten through 5th grade, become proficient in their math skills. And what it is it's games that the students get to go on that are visually representing different math concepts to help improve their higher level thinking skills and solving problem skills. And it's also self-paced, so the students can work at their own level and they can go at their own rate. For example, I already have a student who's on 2nd grade GG. And also when they finish a level, they get awarded with a certificate at sunrise ceremony, which is very motivating for them. ST Math also provides immediate feedback when the students are on the game, so they know if they have gotten the correct answer or incorrect, and so they know if they're grasping the skills that they're being taught through their level or not.
ST Math is a web-based computer program that we've been using at Seoul for the past few years, and it's an opportunity for students to get online with the computer program and practice math skills. So this is an example here of the different curriculum, and it's assorted by grade level. So if you're a kindergarten teacher, you're going to add your class into the kindergarten curriculum. I'll show you here what 2nd grade teachers do. And this shows the different content areas organized and aligned to Common Core standards. And then what teachers can do is click on a subject area, and this is what we do now in real time to teach a lesson or to reinforce a concept that we already taught with our math program that we use. And then you can play it as a student would play, and you would see it how students see, or teachers like to go in with open access because it allows us to move around the curriculum and access whatever piece of the subject area that we need to reteach or reinforce. So we use this whole group, and students who have already played this game are going to remember what we're showing them, or it's a nice opportunity to show it whole group before students get to this level so that they have a sneak preview of what they're going to be doing when they go work independently. When we first started this computer program and we didn't have all of the technology resources that we have now, we had a group of pilot teachers who piloted the program within their classroom and pulled a group of maybe 5 or 6 students, and then they would assign computer time to them. Students would spend about 30 minutes on the computer and they would access ST Math that way. ST Math is great because it helps us reinforce math concepts in a different way. It's not paper pencil. As you can see, there's no words on the screen, and so it's very concept based. It's another outlet for students to learn it differently than what it's presented in the textbook or what's presented by the teacher during direct instruction. Now we have accessed more funding and increased our technology resources. So now we're seeing more students access the program on laptops, on tablets. We have a bunch of more desktop computers per classroom. So now instead of a pilot group with 5 or 6 students, the entire school is using it K through 5. And once again, we're using it within the classroom time, scheduled computer time, but then also students are accessing it at home, which is another great feature. They are able, since it's a web-based program, to access this at home on their home computer or on their home tablets. Teachers assign homework, and it's basically the same curriculum that they get within the school time, except they can access it at home.
I'm comparing least to greatest. For what I'm doing, you have to get this guy and the right amount of it, because if you don't give him the small amount before the big amount, he won't eat it and it'll just go back and Gigi can't pass.
So after our first year of piloting the ST Math program with that small group in the classroom, we looked at our assessment data and we did notice a significant increase in our students' math achievements on our standardized testing. So we thought there was a huge connection with ST Math and those test scores, and that's when we went ahead and decided to implement it school-wide, especially in our testing grades, and we did whatever we could to access that funding, whether it be writing a grant or submitting to donors, and we continue to see that achievement gap close with our students in those testing grades.
Well, we are learning how to rotate objects, and what we have to do is Gigi is in a position and we have to try to rotate him so he will look like the figure he is on the other side. And so they give us choices below, and we have to click which choices so he can pass this, so we can pass this level.
It teaches you math and it's visual. It's like playing a video game, but you're learning math at the same time. On this level, you have to memorize what it is, and like say, I start right here. It says 3 times 1 times 7 plus 6. So I just did 3 times 7 equals 21 plus the 7 equals 28.
Study Island is an amazing tool that we have here at CT Sewell. What's very valuable about it is they have a topic for every standard in Study Island. The kids have questions that they could work on to make sure that they are exposed to what the questions would appear like on the CRT. We work on it as a whole group to make sure that we cover every topic that they're required to be tested on throughout the year. And then the kids can actually get on the computers on their own, and it will identify when they're struggling and bump them down a level if it needs to, and have them work their way back up. So it's really good for that blended learning model that we have here at CT Sewell. As the kids graduate from the current grade level they're working on, we actually bump them up and let them advance. So we really are working with the challenge students and the ones that are struggling at the same time. Somebody tell me real quick which one's acute, or any of them that are acute. All right, Jillian, which one would be acute? How do you know number 1 is acute?
Because it's
Less than a 90-degree angle. Is there another angle that is acute? Okay, Miss O. Peterson.
number 4.
Number 4, how would you know that number 4 is acute?
Because
It's a little crunched in, okay, less than 90, less than 90. Any other ones that are acute? Levi?
PI.
VI? Okay, what number is VI? Anybody know?
6.
6. Okay, how do you know?
Because it's a little less than I like that.
Just a little bit less.
Study Island helps me with practicing for the CRT as a big test that we take next week, and it helps us by we can open the lessons, and it also helps us by achieving our goals, and our goals help us because it gives us more confidence when we do the CRTs, and it helps us with everything we do all year.
Study Island helps me by on the topics that I don't really get, I can just open the lesson and practice that topic. And it also helps me because when, it also helps me with all the tests that we have to take every single week and the readings that we have.
Study Island is an interactive program that we use at CT Sewell. I love Study Island, especially in my class, and the students have so much enthusiasm for the technology. One of the things, just as a teacher, that I love to use about Study Island is that I can differentiate my curriculum. I can have students working at their own levels, and they can continue working throughout the year at the pace that they are comfortable with. One of the best things that the students like about it, of course, that it is interactive, it's hands-on, and they can as well use it for their own pacing, and they get immediate feedback, which is fantastic because they know exactly what they've done immediately. One of the other things that I love about it is they work independently. So they know what program they're on, they log in, and they do all of the work. As a teacher, I also like it because we can focus on skills that we've been learning throughout the week. We sit down on the carpet and we review facts that they've been doing all year long. So it is a fantastic tool in the classroom, and we love it.
Mrs. Soto picked up the ringing telephone. The call was for her son. She went to give her son the phone. When she got to his room, her eyes grew wide. His room was like a pigsty. Which phrase from the story shows that something is dirty?
Okay, Accelerated Reader is a program that we use at Sewell. The students read books and they take tests, and it tracks their comprehension level and also their vocabulary skills and other literacy skills such as main idea, figurative language. And something that's unique to our school, we have this star arm chart. So every time a student reads a book and they pass it at 85%, they fill in one of their star arms depending on the level of their book. So we have half-point books all the way up to, 10-point books depending on their level. And they are fiction and nonfiction books. So my students this year, this particular student has read at least 35 books at 85%. In fact, he's read 36 books at 85% or higher. As the students read, every time they finish a test, they go to their star arm chart and see what has been filled out. The kids like to pull up their star arm charts together and talk about how many charts they have filled out and how many of what point they still need. They like to share books, say this is a 3-point book, this is a 2-point book, and they can swap so they can get the arms that they need. They're super motivated by this program, and books that may have been a week to read in the past, they are now reading in a couple of days. And when you take a look around the room, these kids are reading 500, 600, 700-page books, and they are passing them at 90% and 100% accuracy. And when they finish an entire star arm, they go to the next level, and during our sunrise ceremony program, when the whole school is outside together, they are announced, they get an award, and then they get to go to our AR closet, our AR store, and they get all kinds of fun things, RC cars, basketballs, baseballs, anything that they want. And it really motivates them to keep going. And their friends push them. When they pull their charts up together, they can see, and their friends are always encouraging and motivating each other to bump it up and go to the next level. Okay, This is our class's ACE AR board. This is a board that shows all the different books that the students have passed at 100%. They have passed so many books at 100%, I can't even keep up with the demand of the bookworm books to put up there. It's constantly growing every single day. People are putting new books up on there because they're passing at 100%.
Okay, I am a first grade teacher here at CT Sewell, and we use a program called AR, also known as Accelerated Reader. And what it is it's a computer program that allows our students to read any trade book that is within the program. And they can read a book and then take a comprehension quiz on it. And you can see here all the trade books that I already owned. One of the reasons I really love this program is that books I already had, that I've accumulated over the 5 years I've been teaching, I was able to level them, and now my students have daily access to them, where they know what their reading level is, and they're able to find a book at their level and read it independently and then take a quiz on it. And it's been very motivating and challenging. I find that it's a great way to challenge my readers that are above grade level, and those that need some additional support are also able to find books that make them feel successful. How it runs in our classes, every morning the students, they start off the year knowing what their level is. And they come in the morning and they will find 2 books that we talk about feel not too easy but also not too hard. So they stay within their, a year within their leveled range. So they'll pick 2 books, they'll read them, and then they can come over and take the comprehension quiz on them. And then if they pass a quiz, they're able to add a sticker to the chart. And then we also have this chart which allows them to see as their stars are being filled. When they pass quizzes, an arm on their star is filled. And once they fill all the stars, they graduate to a next reading level. I've found for my teaching that this program has really added a valuable component to our reading block. I find that whole group time, I'm able to get to those grade level skills. But during AR time, students are able to read more at their level. So that's how we've been implementing it in first grade thus far.
I'm Zach, first grade, and I am reading a third grade book. The Finns gave away their pumpkins, rode out and into the bay. Spookily knew what must be done. It was up to him. He was the one.
So this is Computer Clubhouse. This is where kids come for Tier 2 and Tier 3 interventions. How it works is we test the whole entire school using the STAR comprehension test and Ames Web at the beginning of the year. And we take the lowest 28 kids out of the grade level, and those are the ones that come to Clubhouse. So what they do is they come in and they do one product of Fast Forward, and then we retest them and see if they're within grade level. And if they are, we exit them, and if they're not, then we put them back in for another program. We test them using the STAR test and the RPI test from Fast Forward.
Fast Forward is a computer-based intervention program that we use for reading and language, and each student is assigned a product based on their own personal level, and they come in for 50 minutes a day, every single day, and Fast Forward teaches them their letter sounds, phonemic awareness, sight words, sentence completion, and comprehension. And every day we're able to pull our students' data and see where they're excelling and where they're flagging. And if they have a flag in a certain area, we can intervene with that specific skill. Tier 3 students are able to have one-on-one for about 20 minutes a day and work on their different reading skills. And then the reason that I think we have such a high success rate here at Sewell is because opposed to a 30-minute protocol that a lot of schools have, we increase our protocol to 40 minutes for each student, and we have an expectation for them to hit 100 points for each game. So if they don't hit their 100 points, they know that they have to go back and redo it, which increases their score. And out of 228 kids that we have entered into our Fast Forward program, we have exited 103.
And that's a cat course.
Okay, so our newest piece of technology that we're using in the classroom is Classroom Dojo. Classroom Dojo is a behavior management tool that we use in the classroom, and it monitors pretty much everything that has to do with behavior in the classroom. Homework, whether the student is on task, if a student is participating, if a student is being helpful, persistent with their work, a helper, many different categories. You can include your own categories if you wish. So for example, Alana, who's sitting quietly, working, she's on task. I can simply click on Alana's name. She's on task. They love coming up to the screen and doing it themselves. So she would just come up to the screen. Alana, you earn points for being on task, and she will click that, and she earned her points. The really cool feature is that it does make that little ding, and so that sound is just the sound of reward, the sound of happiness for all the students in the classroom. Ding, somebody got a point, so they get really excited when they hear that ding. On the other hand, if I have someone that's not on task, I need to remind them to be on task, they will lose points. So if Alana was not on task, she would go to negative on task. And it has a little sad sound, which is a sound we do not want to hear. So the teacher has the option of keeping the same totals and the points for the entire week. They could switch out, so like I will change their points every day, so they start off with fresh points each day. They have positive points and negative points, so we sort of break it down by how many positive points they have for the day. Of course, they love it because the student with the most points obviously was on task the most for the day, and it's the question, the common question that we have every single day. Who has the most points? Who has the most points for the day? So as you can see, we have a couple that are already in the 4s, some in the 3s, some in the 2s for the day, and luckily today nobody's in the negative. So if they have too many negative points and they're not on task, it usually is that sign where they get their little note home that shows, oh, they were off task today, they didn't have their homework for the day. And the best part about it is their parents get instant feedback on their progress. So Adam's mom can go onto the internet right this minute and see how many points Adam has earned for the day. You could also reward multiple students at once. So if I want to click all of my students, because everybody's quietly working, I can click that button, give the award, yes, and they're all working hard, and everyone receives a point. Another thing that this helps with behavior management, another tool, is they have the timer feature. So for example, in the mornings when teachers might have trouble getting their class to come in quietly and quickly get their things unpacked, you could set a timer, so we could have a countdown, and let's say they need to be ready in 5 minutes. I can set it for 5 minutes, hit set, and it's counting down for them. So they have 5 minutes to be in their seat, have their backpacks hung, and maybe their morning activity set up on their desk. So it's counting down, and it'll have a little ding at the end of the 5 minutes. So each day when you end your class, you can see how positive your day was, and share that with the class. So if I end the class, it's showing that the day was 82% positive. So it'll also show where that was. So most of the time they were on task, all of this participation, persistence, homework, some were off task, few had no homework. So it'll break down the day for you, and it'll show their points for the week so far, their running totals.
All right, so looking at AR this morning, talking about where our goals should be and where we are right now, just wanted to take a quick look at it for the day. How many tests should we have at this point? Hunter?
3.
Okay, we should have 3 for our syllabus, right? And if we want to go any further than that to reach our goal for the end of the week, how many should we have, Nicholas?
5.
5. Okay, so we should be at least 3, and anything over than 3 is superb. So looking at this, we have Jaden here, and he has taken 4 tests and passed 4 tests with a 95% average. And that's really excellent, Jaden. That's a great average. What I really want you to make sure you do too is start to take a few higher point books. Because if you see up there, we're just at 2.4. So we want to make sure we just get a little bit higher in our points for the week. Okay? Nice work, thank you. And then we're looking at Victoria. Victoria has 5 at 100% average with 5 points. Doing really well this week. Great job, Victoria. Ryan. Looking at Ryan, we have 1 at 90%, which is a really excellent start. And what kind of excites me is that you have really high point total. So you have 6.3 points, which is excellent. We just want to make sure that we get a few more quizzes in there, even if it's just quizzes. So even if it's a high point value, we want to get a few more quizzes in.
That's great.
Okay, I guess what sets CT Sewell apart from other schools is really just kind of how we show the students the data that is relevant to their everyday situation, and it motivates them. It helps to intrinsically motivate them in the meantime. So with AR, what we do is they have a goal for the week. They need between 3 to 5 tests for the week, and they know this coming in at the beginning of the week. And during the week, what we'll do is pull up AR and show them where they're at, show them how many tests they have, what kind of average they have. We want them at a 90% or above. And if they're not there yet, where they need to be. And in return, this kind of helps for them to visualize where they are and where they want to go for the end of the week.
I think motivating the students is a huge part of what we do here at Sewell. Our sunrise ceremony is a big part of our day. It brings all of us together. Dr. Buck is out there getting everybody excited. We hand out awards for Accelerated Reader, Super Citizen, ST Math, how kids do on certain test scores, everything. And kids are motivated out there, and they're together as a family, and it sets the tone for the rest of the day, and everybody's ready to go.
All right, we have some Gigi awards, but first, let's do our Gigi dance. Are you ready? Here we go. Ready? Go, Gigi. Go, Gigi. Go, Gigi. I believe we're 82%, folks, as a school. Good job. We are leading the entire district. Great job, and thank you, Gigi, for being here today.
All right, it is a special day because Gigi's out here to say hello to all of you who are going to get your special award today. So our first one is a very special award from Miss Abby's afternoon pre-K class. Our first pre-K student who finishes Gigi. His name is Riley Stephen. Give him a big round of applause. Congratulations, Riley. Everyone, way to go. Keep working hard.
All right, what's coming up next week? CRT, and we're going to do our best on the test. So with that, for every student who's here, every single day trying their hardest, we're going to put you in a raffle for tons of scooters, pogo sticks, and skateboards, and RC cars. So ready? Here we go. We're going to highlight those. Play our music.
Motivation with our programs is key. I know schools across the district have programs like these, but the way we push the students to achieve their goals is essential to the scores we get on the CRT. I know my students in this class know where they're at with each of the programs, and that comes from weekly conferences, phone calls home. Even the parents are involved in helping us to achieve the completion by the CRT. Buy-in is really the key thing. Having the students aware of where they're at helps us reach those goals. Everyone always asks me where we get our resources. As a school, when I first got here 8 years ago, we were way behind the curve. We did everything we could to try to come up with ways to get new technology. We were refurbishing old computers, we were writing grants, we were entering contests. Then Donors Choose came along, and it gave the teacher the ability to make their own wish list for their classroom. Since the beginning of the school year, we've posted 3 projects that all were funded. It let my class get 2 new tablets, 2 new netbooks, and 2 new laptop computers. That really put 6 more computers at the desks of my students.
Okay, I think all the different programs that we have here at Sewell help motivate the student by showing them where they're at, kind of showing them how they compare to other situations, and that in turn helps motivate them to work harder towards the future and complete and master those goals that we set for them.